Morning. Morning. Sorry, guys. Some technical difficulties. Um, Apologies. All right. So let's get moving. A little bit behind schedule here now. So let's go ahead and start to take a look at these markets. All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn off some of these levels here as part of that review for now, and then come back. Okay. So let's close that off here. And let's take a look at the daily chart. Although I think we all know what gold has been doing of late here. It's been on a steady climb, consistently making higher highs and higher lows. Right, we got a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now it's in the midst of making another swing higher. No, I wish I if I'm not that savvy, Frizu. All right. So here we have so again, daily chart very much bullish. 4 hour um is equally as bullish, but we're starting to get a little bit of price action here. That indicates maybe that we're starting to see some overlapping price here. So maybe there might be maybe some near pullback here in the near future. We're still above this anchored VWAP that I've drawn here as a result of this pivot. So as long as price remains above this anchored VWAP, the idea is that we remain, kind of in bullish structure here. Okay. So looking at the 30-minute chart, start to take a look at these levels a little bit more in detail here. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to add to this chart, well, I'd like to keep that anchored VWAP visible here. So we have our ADR. Okay. Next thing I'm going to add here is our ASR. And then the other thing that I'm going to add is our levels. So I need to open up my spreadsheet because that closed down as a result of the restart. So we'll do that and get that up. Okay. So it looks like we're coming into an ASR level here. Okay. ASR level and also anchor VWAP, which could become supportive. Okay. But let's go ahead and add our levels here to the chart. Okay, here are our levels for the gold market right there. All right, and next thing I'm going to add here is our volume profile. So it looks like we've come into value from yesterday. Just going to spot check some of these levels here. We have 27.58.4 value area high, value area low, 27.49.6, and point of control here at 27.53.2. Okay. Looks like these other levels are all intact. So we'll go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay. So we have a relatively narrow initial balance to start. So looks like the market has been bearish, I guess, during overnight trading. I'm somewhat inclined here to draw an anchor VWAP at the start of Wednesday here, I guess the start of this move down. So we have two anchor VWAPs, one kind of a result of the swing here that we are making to the downside. I'm going to go ahead and open up our daily VWAP. That has been breached to the downside. Okay. So right now, I would have to say that the market is looking a bit bearish. Okay. We are below a lot of the levels, at least on the 30-minute chart here. Okay. We are a lot below a lot of the levels that we care about. And we've already kind of closed inside value here. And we close inside value relatively quickly and on the open. So there's certainly a possibility that price could traverse through the entire range of value here, okay, before we make any sort of concerted effort back to the upside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. So with the market open and the fact that we've prices kind of almost immediately came into value here, that's certainly in the cards here. Okay, so if I'm a buyer, I would say that we need to be patient. We need to wait to see if we can get into an area where we see buyers in the past. If you look to the left here, you can see that we have a fair number of, I guess, buyers or balance area here to the left-hand side. And that would be kind of a logical area maybe to consider a participation to the upside. Okay. If I'm bearish, well, I would need to see some sort of extension of initial balance, and then maybe participate on the bottom end of initial balance. Okay. That would be kind of a logical location, right, for me to participate. Ideally, I'd like to be able to sell strength. Okay, maybe the top end of value, right, could of initial balance could offer me a location for an opportunity to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market right now. I think I'm heading into the market a bit bearish on the market, even though we've up until now we've been on. We'll go ahead and open up the overlay here. You can see the 4-hour chart is also, developing a bearish activity here. Okay, so right now I would have to say that overall the market in gold is bearish, and that we need to see if we can find some opportunities to the bearish side. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. So let's go ahead and move on, unless there's some questions here. I'm not seeing them. I'm seeing a lot of good mornings and reactions to the comment I made here. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. All right. Looking at the crude oil market, we're going to go ahead and shut down some of these messages here. Okay. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and expand this now. Just a reminder, guys, that today is EIA. Okay, so we have inventory reports coming in. Okay, so something to be aware of, and that could cause maybe the market to kind of, waffle or not pick any sort of definitive direction until that inventory report comes out. Okay. So looking at the daily, I think we've kind of highlighted this already. We seem to have made a little bit of a reversal away from this demand zone. I think I've drawn this before, but I will draw this again. I see this area of demand, not in red, but I will change this to green. Okay. So this is kind of an area of demand. Right now we have a developing engulfing candle, not quite engulfing, but a bearish candle nonetheless. And like I said, if this is if this move that it's making going to continue, well, we want price to continue in this range. Okay. So if we are of a bearish tone, and it's reasonable to say that, given the recent swing, we're at a relatively good location for maybe potentially participating in that right now. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, we have a 4-hour chart. We had a nice engulfing candle off of this top end of the channel. Now it looks like it's come into an area, and we've gotten a little bit of a reaction. Okay, probably to the surprise of the folks that took the price down. Looks like it's been met with some buyers here around 70. Okay, 70 seems to be a level that's increased some interest here. Okay, I'm going to take a quick peek at volume delta. Volume delta has not really been aligned with this kind of buying just yet. If anything, it's telling us that there's still a fair amount of interest to the downside. Okay. The last thing I'm going to take a look at, I see that the negative indicator has popped above. All right, the positive, although momentum seems to be waning. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart, this is where we kind of do a little bit more analysis. Okay. Volume analysis, location analysis. So you can see here that we've gotten a relatively strong indication on the ADX telling us that maybe there is some weight to this move to the downside. We have Delta also in agreement with what's going on with price. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and temporarily turn this off here. I don't need the channel just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and open up some of my levels here. I'd like to see where price is with respect to average daily range. Whereas price with respect to average session range? Well, it looks like it found an area here of support. Okay, so if we are unable to make a new low, we could be building a case for price to return back where it came from. Hey, Dallas, return back where it came from. And where did it come from? Well, if you look at the top of London here, okay, it came back to 71.57. Okay, so we need to take a look and see how this eventually plays out here. I don't think it's actually it did open, so we'll open up the initial balance. Okay, is that initial balance or where is that? Initial balance. Okay, here's our initial balance range, and the narrower the range, okay, the more likely that we have the potential of some sort of sustained move. Okay, so like I said, right now we've been in this kind of bearish channel, but we're starting to see some evidence that maybe price could potentially break and has already broken this channel to the upside. Okay. All right. So this could be an indication that we could see maybe an acceleration of maybe bullish activity here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay. So these are the levels that we're tracking here. Okay. So here's our levels. And I'm just gonna, kind of double confirm some of these to make sure that they're in line with what I'm seeing here. So let's see, what do I want to open this up here? Okay, so where is price relative to value? Well, right now, price is below value. So that tells us that we still have bears very much in control of the market. Now, if I'm of the bearish tone, if I'm of the bearish position, this area right here, value area low, would be a relatively nice location to force a continuation trade to the downside. Okay. If I'm somewhat bullish, well, I'm in an area now, okay, that could offer maybe an opportunity back up to, in this case, 71, which is value area low. Okay. Or I need to potentially wait for price to close inside value, okay, and then maybe offer me an opportunity, maybe a slight pullback, have a value area low hold, and then at that point we traverse through the entire range of value. Okay, so those are a couple of scenarios that I could see. Okay, right now I'm going to be quite keen to see how price reacts around this daily VWAP, okay, right? And see if that's going to offer us maybe an opportunity again for a continuation trade to the downside. I'm going to go ahead and open up anchored VWAP here on the top of the market here at the top of London. Okay, that's another indication. So we're kind of at an interesting juncture here, right? We had a lot of selling. Okay, now we've come up to an area where potentially we could see a continuation to the downside. Okay, so it'll be interesting for me to see how price behaves around this area here. Okay, because if it behaves like, if it's going to continue in this swing to the downside, this is a logical area for folks to kind of add to their position, and we continue a trade to the downside. Now, if price ignores this area, closes above, and maybe even gets into this value area, then maybe this scenario of heading to the upside plays out. But right now, we are about an hour and a half or so from a news event that could, can be the catalyst for this potential move that I'm discussing. at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. Okay, I'm just gonna maybe spot check a couple of these levels here, make sure I have them correct. I got value area high is correct, value area low is correct, point of control is correct as well. Looks like everything is in order here. Okay, so interesting to see if we do get that close above. That could lead up to this value area low, at which point we either get a reversal, okay, in price, or we get a close back inside value and maybe a acceleration to the upside. Okay, so before we move on to the equities, okay, I'm going to encourage folks, okay, to one, hit the subscribe button, two, hit the like button if what I'm sharing with you resonates and supports your analysis of the markets. I'd like to see these likes get up to at least 75 to 80% of the folks that we have in the room now. Okay, so encourage and continue to encourage me to come out and give you guys this analysis on a daily basis. Moreover, one of the things I would encourage is also to review videos, comment on videos that I make available on the portal. I will see if I can maybe create some shorts on some trades that I do take, just to give you guys some additional visibility as to how I approach and evaluate the markets. Okay. All right. So now that I've seen a little bit of an uptick on my little marketing spiel there, we'll go ahead and move on to the NASDAQ. Okay. And we'll turn off some of these notifications of news here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and expand this view here. And then the turn off ASR, turn off my value ranges, and focus in on the daily chart. Okay, so what is the daily chart saying? Well, looks like we are in some sort of consolidation pattern. Okay, I see a very clear triangle, symmetrical triangle pattern here. Okay, the only problem with these kind of patterns is very difficult to understand exactly what the direction is going to be. Now, given the fact that we've maybe have come from the top of the market, I'd like to think that maybe eventually this move is going to be to the downside. Okay, right now we continue to create these patterns. We had another pattern, I guess, here that kind of went to the upside here. Okay, but cannot ignore the fact that we continue to be in bullish structure. Right. If I look from left to right, am I headed higher or am I headed lower? Well, I'm still heading low. I'm still heading higher. So I have to respect that, right? So if I'm really going to begin to embrace, shorts or bearish trades, I need to get below some of this structure here, right? I need to get below 325. Okay. I need to break the channel to the downside. Okay. If I'm going to embrace that view, right? Otherwise, I have to expect that we're just going to continue doing what we've been doing, and that's continuing to grind higher. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the 45-minute chart. Okay, 45-minute chart. Really, nothing much to say in the overnight. If anything, it's been kind of grinding lower, and now it's coming into an area where we could potentially see some support. Some demand area here. I do see a logical demand zone here and a rejection away from it right about where it's at right now. Okay, this area right here to me seems supportive. We're also coming into our 233-day EMA, which could be a logical location. Okay, logical location for price to reverse. Okay, so this whole area for me seems like an area that could offer us an area. 45-minute chart, 4 hours chart, 4-hour chart. Okay. So sorry. Thank you. All right. So here we are again, still same story. We have price coming into this area. Our EMA here is a little bit lower since we're dealing with a higher time frame chart. but we've come into an area where there is a possibility of price reversing. Okay. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. I meant to look at that before, but we'll take a look at it again. So here we are. We've exceeded EMA to the downside. All right. This 233-day EMA looks like, well, I'm going to go ahead and close this because this is my old, all right. So we're below the 233-day EMA. We're coming into an area where we could potentially see maybe a reversal in price. I would say that, we can go certainly as low as 20,400. I do see evidence that we do have a buyer here, had a buyer here in the not so distant past that drove price higher from this location. And then this is kind of the first time that we've come into this area. So this area could be an area of support, but I also understand that we are, kind of showing signs here that maybe we are, heading lower here. Looking at whatever this is, I'm not sure. We got a combination ADR volume delta. Okay, so our volume delta is saying that there is more sellers than buyers. Okay, let's turn this one off here. All right, so more sellers than buyers. So volume is aligned with price. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to open up some of our levels, our kind of indications here. So we have ADR here on the bottom end of this swing. That would be, I would say, an excellent location to participate in a potential long. This area right here would be an excellent location. ASR also coming in at that same level. So this area right here would be ripe for maybe a reversal in the current price action that we're seeing. Until then, if we can get below 435, I say that we have a reasonable chance of getting down to this 400 level. Okay, in the Nasdaq. All right. Let's go ahead and add my levels here to the charts. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add our ADR, ASR, and things that we kind of track in the market. Okay. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and open up our value area range. So right now, price is inside value. Okay. So again, another reason that maybe this value area low, could offer us maybe a reversal in price. Okay. So value area low coming in at 20,430. Okay, could offer again another piece of evidence for maybe an area where price could reverse. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up VWAP. VWAP price is below VWAP. Okay, so until we can get price above VWAP, my view and sentiment on this market remains bearish. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my anchor VWAP. And I'm going to locate London here. Okay, so again, the daily VWAP and the VWAP generated from London, all bearish. Okay, so the first area for me to even consider a bullish trade would be this area right here. Okay, it would need to break structure to the upside. 480. Okay, 20,480 would be the first location that I would look for a potential buy. Okay. If it does not reach, yeah, I mean, that's certainly a possibility, Apex, but I need price to break 30-minute structure or 15-minute structure to the upside before I'm willing to embrace it. Okay. So on a 15 or 30-minute chart, I need price to get above 480 before I'm willing to entertain that possibility. Okay, I do like the location, but I need some price evidence to indicate that that this is indeed an area that they are going to look to buy. Okay, that's just, again, personal choice here. Okay, this is kind of the rule, the kind of a rule-based plan that I'm creating for myself in the Nasdaq. Okay, if I'm going to go long, I need to see price close above 480. Okay, if it doesn't close above 480, I'm not interested. Okay, and my view becomes that we're going to probably head down to 400. Okay, All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the, I was going to maybe open up ASR here, but ASR is going to change on us. ASR is already open. We have 611. This is the ASR generated from the London session, but that's going to adjust with the open of the US session. So what we have them all marked up here. So again, guys, my current view of the market is bearish, okay? In the Nasdaq, all right? But I do see that we are coming into some areas that could provide a nice reversal in price. Okay, me personally, I think I'm going to hold out to see if we do get to this area down here at 20,400, because I think that at that area could provide us some pretty strong support. Okay, plus I'm seeing some indications, volume delta and what have you, are still telling me that it's not time. Okay, to entertain anything to the bullish side. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ. All right. We're going to go ahead and unless there's any sort of questions. Apex had a couple of them. Hopefully, I don't know if I really answered the question directly, but hopefully I gave you some parameters of what it would take for me to participate in a move in a bullish way. Right. I do need to see price get above 480. Okay. Or above some sort of initial balance or some, in which we are about 15 minutes away. Okay. All right. Let's thank you for that. Yeah, be sure to post those comments here once the recording is made available on YouTube. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and let's see. Move on to the ES. Okay, I'll look at the ES market. We'll go ahead and open this up here. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn off some of these levels here. Now, I'm sure you've noticed by now, I'm very focused on location. All right, I'm very focused on levels, reference levels, in order for me to participate. Because if I do a good job of locating price reference levels, one, it minimizes the risk, and also it's like balsam for the mind, right? Because I know that I've waited for a good location. Okay, it's when I pick less than ideal location that the mind starts to kind of chime in here and say, hey, what are you doing? Right. So okay, so let's take a look here on the daily. So we have, again, same kind of thing. Seems like price is slowing here a bit. It's kind of moving sideways of late. All right. We've had a lot of overlapping candles here. We have yet to make a new high in this market. We have not been able to get above 59, let's say 59.30. Okay. We do have buyers and sellers. So there's a little bit of a tug of war going on right now in the ES. Really, while the market remains bullish, it's, I think, of late a little bit more neutral. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay. So just kind of expanding kind of what I've just said, right? We see, kind of price is, right. It's kind of, waffling between these two levels, right? As low as 58.54 and as high as 59.28 and kind of waffling in between. So the market is really trying to figure out what direction it wants to take right now. If I had to guess, I would say that the next move may be to the downside, right? If I had to guess, all right. But I don't like guessing. I like to see price evidence of that, right? So if I get a break and close below, say 58.62, then I will draw my reference level here as 58.62, and then I will wait for some sort of confirmation, some sort of retest of that level, and then participate. Okay. I don't want to be a leader in that execution. Okay. Because I don't feel like I have the capital to sustain whatever move I desire. Right. So I'm going to let the big boys do that. And then if I do get a definitive move, then I'm going to want to see some rejection away from 58.61 and then participate. All right. So I'll let the big boys, or I often term them as Bigfoot. Okay. 58.62 is value area low. Okay. Well, that's probably an area that we could expect some support. Right. So All right, so let's continue our volume analysis because it looks like I'm kind of diving into some areas that maybe could cause price to reverse. We are coming into a demand zone, right? You can see that on the left-hand side. We do see that price is below our 233-day EMA. It's also below our daily VWAP. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP here. The question is, do I go with London or do I go with the close of the session? Let's go with London. All right. So here you are. We have three indications that maybe price is going to continue lower. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our value area here from yesterday. There it is. So we're inside value. Okay. So we have around as Sergey mentioned, we have value area low right at that level that I was kind of discussing, right? If we are going to reverse anywhere, you're welcome, Frizu. If we're going to reverse anywhere, it's going to be at this level. If we get a break below value, then that could be the catalyst for some price action to continue lower. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our levels here, guys. All right, add our levels. Okay, here are our levels. Okay, we're just going to spot check some of these. So we have value area high at 58.91, which is in line. We have value area low at 58.62, which is in line. We have point of control at 58.79, which is in line. We have settlement above us here at 58.87. Okay, so everything's checking out here. Let's go ahead and add our ADR here, and then we'll add our ASR with the understanding that we're coming into ASR for London. Okay, not getting much in the way of reaction yet. Okay, all right. So like I said, I think there's a reasonable chance, more than reasonable chance, that we'll come down to the edge of value before we make any sort of decision on reversal. Okay, there's really nothing in here that tells me that we're reversing here without first maybe coming down and retesting 58.60. Okay, but I'm not sure I want to necessarily take the risk on this kind of trade because I feel like I'm paying a little bit of retail. Okay, I would prefer taking a trade that comes back to say VWAP and then support maybe a continuation trade from there. Okay, I feel I can manage my risk far better at that location than its current location. Right now, as tough as it may look, right, I would be looking for, from a risk perspective, maybe an opportunity to fade this back to VWAP. The location that I would prefer here would be 58.60. That would be a logical location for maybe a mean reversion trade back to VWAP and then a continuation off of VWAP down. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else that I should be calling out here? I don't see it. We're about, let's see, 6 minutes away from the open of the market. So let's close out this session with a review of the Dow. Okay. The Dow, and see how aligned the Dow is with NASDAQ and ES here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and turn off some of our levels here. We're going to go ahead and, take a little bit of a peek here at the higher time frames. I got all kinds of VWAPs and things going on here. We got a nice reaction off of an anchored VWAP, I guess, that I drew from an earlier bar here. Nice reversal here on Tuesday. Okay. You too, Alejandro. All right. So let's take a quick look at the daily. Let's understand what the daily is trying to accomplish. Well, guys, if these three candles, let's remove some of this. If these three candles are not indications to you as to what the market is trying to accomplish, I'm not doing my job. Okay. We are seeing a string or a series of bearish candles. More importantly, we're seeing a bearish candle start to break some structure to the downside. Okay. Obviously, the day is still not done and won't be done for a good 7 hours. But if price remains below this, again, that could be the catalyst for some additional price action to the downside. Okay. All right. If we start to break structure to the downside, we're not making any new highs, right? So if we're not making any new highs and we're starting to make new lows, then our view needs to begin to kind of change, right? So looking at the 4-hour chart, we'll just do a little bit of analysis. Okay, so we came into this level, right, that we talked about, all right, and we made an attempt here to maybe take the market higher, and that was again met with sellers. Okay, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing more and more dominant bearish bars. Okay, dominant, becoming dominant. Okay, so one attempt here, and it was met really badly for the bulls here. Okay, all right. 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, we'll kind of let's do some a fresh, a lot of lines here starts to clutter my mind, and it's cluttered enough. All right, so let's take a look at this. We have settlement price above us. Okay, we have daily VWAP above us. I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP here. Okay, right at the open of London. Okay, again, everything so far is indicating lower prices. Okay, let's start to capture our ADR levels, average daily range, average session range, and we're going to modify this for London for now. Although if I wait 3 minutes, I might be able just to go ahead and call this. Come on now, where is it? Okay, well, it doesn't allow me to end. It doesn't allow me in here for whatever reason. Okay, so there's our average. Oops, there it is. It took that took a long time. I'm gonna go ahead and modify this for New York, guys. I suspect that these levels are going to change in about 3 minutes. Okay, with the open of the equity session here. Okay, so let's start to capture some of these levels. So we have what is it? We have ADR high coming in at, what is this level? 43,195. 43,195 is ADR high. ADR high. Okay, we have ASR high at 43,174. That's ASR high. Average session range high, average daily range high. Then we are going to go ahead and open up our value ranges here and see where we stand. So price is below our value area low. Again, further indication that we're maybe heading lower. We have 43,151 is our value area high. We have point of control from yesterday at 42,982 point of control. All right. And then we have value area low here coming in at 42,950. Okay, 950 is our point of control, not value area low. And then we have ADR low here coming in at what is that? 42,802. 42,802 is our ADR low. And then our ASR low is 42,815. Okay, so very similar to what we've been saying in the other markets. Now, with the open, and I think we just got the open here, I think, or not quite. We're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay. So there's a possibility there it is. We got a little bit of an adjustment here on the ADR, on the ASR. Okay. So we're right at the edge of value. Okay. So we're either going to continue here or we get a close back inside value, maybe above. So I would be open to a bullish trade if we manage to get inside value. Okay. So I would be bullish if we manage to get price back inside value and maybe above some of these areas. Okay. If not, then this area right here is going to provide me a location for price to continue to the downside. I feel like we have a fair number of sellers in the market at the moment. Okay. And maybe we're destined to come down to revisit average daily range low and average session range low before we make any significant reversal in the other direction. Okay. But given the proximity of where price is with value, there's always the possibility of price coming back inside value and rotating through the entire range of value. Okay. So I always kind of keep that open. Doesn't appear that way. Okay. Looks like it's going to use value area low as an area for continuation. And again, if I'm looking to maybe take a bullish trade, I would say that these levels below ADR low, ASR low are probably the logical locations for that to happen. And then maybe I need to go to a higher time frame chart and see if there's some other levels there. Otherwise, then I'm looking for opportunities where I can manage my risk for a continuation move to the downside. Okay. All right. Even with the little snafu that I had with technology, I managed to just go 1 minute over here. My anticipated goal for this session here. So, like I said, fair amount of news, a lot of meetings going on that could affect the market. So we want to be careful, make sure that we have our stops in place, and wait for our levels to reach and align ourselves with our processes. Okay. So that's it for me, guys. Happy to entertain any questions you might have on the market. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and head over to the coaches' rooms and hang out with some folks there for about an hour, and then go about my day and come back for our regular session later this afternoon. So if you are not a subscriber and want to be notified about these kinds of sessions in the future, don't be shy and hit the subscribe button. Also, as you make your way out, don't be shy about hitting the like button. Okay. Also, as you find these videos recorded or what have you in social media, don't be shy about maybe making a comment or two. Thank you, Apex. Appreciate you making a comment or two of how the analysis has supported your trading. That's always helpful and also offers me some encouragement to continue to provide this analysis to you guys. Okay. All right. I think that's it for me. So as I close every session, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have an excellent session. Trade your processes, and the equity that we all desire will follow. All right. Talk to you guys soon.